Guys, Sam here, Anytime Fitness personal trainer. Today I'm going to show you how to squat. This goes for like goblet squats, bodyweight squats, also barbell squats. I don't have a barbell. I'm not in a power rack right now, so I'll just show you for goblet squat variations or bodyweight squats. So the first thing, I just want to show you my hand grip, and then we'll get to squatting in a second for goblet squats. A lot of people hold it a way that I don't really like, so I'll show you with a dumbbell. So when you hold, a lot of people hold it like down here, and then it's always like falling on them. So what I like to do is hold it nice here, nice and tight. Keeps your back nice and tight, upper back. So when you squat, you're up here. So don't hold it like way down here, and you'll be falling and it falls on your foot or something like that. So that's how I hold it for goblet squats. So next, we'll go over some cues and some stuff that's helped me in the past, and some stuff that's helped my clients squat correctly. So and stay safe. So the first thing I want to tell or talk about is we'll start down by your feet. We'll start width of your feet. So when you squat, there's a big controversy going on about like feet are out or feet are straight. What I like to do for people is if feet are straight, if that feels comfortable, sure, go for that. But I accept I like a little bit of a flare also, a little bit. So I just don't like it really far out like that unless you're doing a really wide, sumo stance, squat, or something like that. So make sure you have about a shoulder width, a little bit wider. So it depends on your limb length, of course, but a little bit of a flare, and that's where I like to start people for squatting. The next big cue I like to tell people is sit back. They're going to the bathroom. I think is a very good cue for people because everybody can relate to that. So when you squat, I'll just do one squat. You squat, you're here. You sit back like that, okay, and then you come on up. So you don't go right on your heels, you don't go on your toes, any of that stuff. One big thing I want to tell people when they're squatting, I'll hit on a few things here. You always want 3 points of contact on your foot at all time. Your big toe, your little toe, and your heel on the ground. You don't want to be squatting going on your toes. You don't want to be going on your heels. You want all 3 points of contact and pushing right through your midfoot. So when you squat, that'll keep your center of balance, and you'll be more powerful in that position. The next thing I want to touch on is breathing. Okay, breathing is very important, especially for barbell squats and goblet squats. Keeps your spine safe. If you breathe correctly and brace, that's like your big belt. It's like without you wearing a belt, that's what keeps you safe. So if you're not breathing correctly, and you don't know how to breathe when you're squatting, you can get hurt very quickly just because you're not bracing yourself. You're not bracing your spine. So you'll see a lot of people at the bottom of a squat, their hips and butt will do a butt wink. It'll be a reversal underneath. So when you squat, we can get into this in depth a little bit more. But when I squat, I take a big breath. I try to get very deep. All the way down here, all the way down below my belly button. Big breath, 360 degrees. And then what I do is I breathe, I push my tongue at the roof of my mouth. I think they call it the Valsalva maneuver, where you push your tongue at the roof of your mouth when you hold that breath. And then you have a big breath down here. You come on up and you reset. So that's how I breathe when I squat, because if you just go around, like I'll show you from the side, if I squat and I don't know how I'm breathing at all, I'll be here. You'll see like it kind of gets like people get like really weird going on in their spine. It'll start shaking and all this weird stuff. So that's just also like a technique and a form error a little bit. Maybe they just don't know how to squat. Maybe they're just beginners and stuff like that. But when you get down to your breathing, so if I breathe, if I do it correctly and I go, you won't see too much of a reversal. So that will keep you safe there. So we can talk about that in the future. If anybody's any questions about that, just ask. The next thing I want to touch on, I'm not a big fan of the knees out cue. Just because if people say just knees out, you'll see this. You'll see, and they'll start coming up, and that 3 points of contact gets really weird because they just try to shove their knees out to the side. I like that for some people. It helps. You definitely don't want the knees in, of course. But like I said, you want 3 points of contact at all times. So instead of knees out, a cue that I eventually tell people is twist the ground like your feet are on plates, like you're corkscrewing your feet into the ground. It's the same kind of cue I tell people when we're doing push-ups or bench press, is to break the bar. You're just trying to create that tension. So if I have my feet like this, you'll see instead of like lowering down like that, like knees in, that's definitely what I do not want. You go like this, you'll see that torque going on, or the tension, and I'm trying to twist the ground like that the whole time. So when I'm here, my feet are like this, and I squat, I'm trying to twist and break the ground the whole time. So that creates tensions all the way up in my hips. Glutes are firing, because if you're not, glutes aren't firing or anything like that. So the other couple of misconceptions I want to tell people about like knees going ahead of your toes or anything like that, that all comes down to your limb length. So your knees may go in front of your toes, but just make sure your hips are loaded. Your shins should not be like straight up and down vertical unless you're doing like box squats or things like that. So that is pretty much it. So we have foot stance a little wider than shoulder width, either toes straight if that feels okay, or a little bit of a flare. You just want to be able to create that tension like I just talked about. The other thing is sit back like you're going to the bathroom. The other thing is breathing, okay? Big breath all the way down here, tongue at the roof of the mouth, and lock it in, squat, reset every time. And the other thing is twisting the ground with your feet. Like your feet are on plates like they're corkscrews. That creates good tension in your hips, like I just said, in your glutes. And you perform a good squat. So make sure you bend at the knees, tip at the hips. You don't need to stay straight up and down when you squat. And I think that's about it. So if you guys have any questions, just ask me in the gym or comment on this video. So hopefully that helped you guys out a little bit, gave you a couple cues that you haven't heard before. So that's all I got, guys, and I'll catch you later. Sam out.